One of my most anticipated games for the PlayStation Vita has been Funbit's Escape Plan. This black and white puzzler forgoes all traditional controls for a more touch-heavy experience. What seems like an odd beast at first glance turns out to be one of the most charming games of recent memory. You play as Laarg and Lil attempting to escape the villain Bakuki's evil traps. The overall design is reminiscent of Portal 2 in that the goal for each level is to reach the exit of each room, while solving the hazard puzzles each one presents. Is this downloadable title worth picking up for your Vita at launch, or does Funbits need to drop another plan? One thing you'll immediately take notice of is its black and white aesthetic. While many of the other PlayStation Vita launch games have wider color palettes, Escape Plan goes for a more stylized look. What seems like an odd design choice actually works in the game's favor by helping it stand out. What really helps the game ooze charm are the little things, like the sounds Lil and Laarg make when you make the move, or the little mumbling noises the enemies make. No one ever mutters a word the entire game, but they all have more character to them than most in AAA games do. The soundtrack is the cherry on top, reminding me of older Italian movies. It sounds a bit strange, but play the game for a few minutes and you'll know exactly what I mean. The presentation overall really shines and is my personal highlight for the game. As previously mentioned, the game is almost exclusively controlled with touch. You can swipe your finger to move Lil and Laarg, tap them to make them stop, and tap other objects in the environment to manipulate them. You can also use the two shoulder buttons to switch between the two characters, as well as the analog sticks to manipulate the camera. Overall, the game is quite fun. Designers did a good job teaching the mechanics slowly before throwing them all at you at the same time. It's rewarding to figure out the various puzzles and complete each room. There's also never a feeling of repetition as the game mixes it up quite a bit to prevent things from getting stale. Unfortunately, the controls are where the biggest flaw for the game lies. There are a number of times where you're forced to perform precision tapping in succession. This wouldn't be such a big problem if the game did what you intended it to. Sometimes I would stop Lil or Laarg when trying to tap an object in, or completely miss the mark with the rear touchpad and watch my characters fall to their doom. There's also a few levels that require multiple simultaneous touches that are a bit awkward. Cupping my left hand around the Vita in a C shape seemed to work best, but I also would lean the Vita up against objects for more comfortable handling. These controls aren't game-breaking by any means, as they work fine for the most part. However, they can be frustrating at times and hard to ignore. The question I'm sure you're wanting answered is, should I buy Escape Plan with my PlayStation Vita at launch? That depends on what you're willing to tolerate. If you can put up with the controls and want a charming game for an affordable price, then this is the game for you. If controls are a deal breaker and you want something with a bit more substance, I would still at least give this game a try. My personal recommendation would be to pick it up. With star ratings and extra challenges, this game holds value far beyond its $15 asking price. The PlayStation Vita will need a steady flow of affordable download titles for a healthy lifespan, and Escape Plan is a fantastic start.